Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm the Mellow Mama and today we'll be discussing a floor bed as opposed to a crib for your nursery. If you're familiar with my channel, then you know that I love to discuss different philosophies on parenting that have allowed me to become a more loving, conscious, respectful parent. Women that I tend to reference most are Rosalind Ross, Magda Gerber, Janet Lansbury, and who I'll focus on today is Maria Montessori. When I became pregnant with my son, I knew right away that I wanted to create such a wonderful relationship with him. I wanted him to feel that he is a whole respected person. He does have rational ideas and needs, that I respect those needs and ideas, and that he has the freedom and the ability to be his whole intrinsic self without criticism, without judgment, without any labels. And it might sound sort of silly, but when I came across Maria Montessori's idea and suggestion to parents that we place a mattress on the floor, eliminate the crib, completely safety-proof the bedroom that we're using for our children, and place a gate at the entrance, I felt that this was absolutely perfect and coincided so well with the kind of environment I wanted to raise my son in. There were so many reasons that I felt a connection to this ideology, but the main one was independence, autonomy, and just this understanding that he did have the freedom to explore and learn on his own time, as opposed to waiting for me to come get him every single morning. So today I'll be sharing why I decided not to buy a crib for my nursery, why I chose a floor mattress, which one I chose, the benefits that I experienced thanks to it, and the real ideology and the philosophy behind this choice. So let's start by discussing the crib. What is the crib for? Why do we use this? Why is this the most common piece of furniture in a nursery today? First of all, cribs are highly unsafe. The last study that I referenced indicated that 50 infants a year die and another 9,000 are injured in crib-related accidents in the United States alone. Not to mention that this is a piece of furniture that's pretty obsolete. It was designed in a time where the floors were dirty and damp. Today we have carpeted floors, beautiful rugs, clean, polished wood floors. It was also designed in a time where people could only allot their children so much space to play without being in an unsafe environment. Homes were much smaller then. People did not have what we have today, which are full-size bedrooms for our children. You see women when they're pregnant nesting and creating this beautiful space for their babies. Of course, today we do still need safe places for our babies to play and rest while we get work done or while we cannot be 100% attentive to them. However, we have so much space today. Like I said, a lot of babies have their own bedrooms, which I'll talk about our Yes Space style bedroom. And in general, there are lots of different options for people that have big, giant living rooms and family rooms, dens, to keep their children occupied and safe at the same time, while not confining them to a small, restrictive, cage-like piece of furniture. For the first few months of your baby's development, they sort of just lie there and look around at their environment. They can't move anywhere, they're not in harm's way if you put them on really any surface because, like I said, they can't move. But I think putting them in a crib actually inhibits their ability to simply enjoy observing their environment, and that's the only thing that they really can do. So I don't think it's fitting for that age. Not to mention, most people have their baby sleeping in their bedroom next to them in a bassinet or in whatever sleeping situation that they have where the baby's close by and not in their crib for the first 0 maybe to 3 months. And let's fast forward to that time frame, 3 to 6 months. Your baby is now trying to move 1 to 2 feet by rolling over, rolling the other way, and just in general scooting themselves around. Maybe they're starting to sit up at the end of this period, maybe they're starting to army crawl, and in this case, a crib is going to be a pretty restrictive, frustrating place for your baby. As somebody who is very passionate about right parenting and supporting my son's natural development in every aspect, not just mental and emotional, but also physical, this crib is it's turning out not to be a good choice even from 3 to 6 months. And let's discuss this 6 to 12 month period, or however long you plan on keeping your baby in this crib. At this point in time, your baby's becoming very mobile. They're able to pull themselves up, to stand, to cruise on furniture, moving side to side. They're obviously able to crawl around, scoot around, and this small restrictive area is just so disrespectful for this phase in their development. And of course, it's now very dangerous for a baby that's so mobile to put them in a position like this. The risk of them flipping out or getting their arms or head stuck are pretty high. So I begin to wonder when exactly it seems like a good idea and a good fit for a baby to be sleeping or resting or playing in a crib. My answer is that there's really no good time for a crib, and that's the reason that I decided not to have one. And I was so fortunate to discover Maria Montessori's philosophy on this very topic when I was pregnant. Maria Montessori suggested that parents just ditch the crib entirely, put a mattress on the floor, create a safe environment for their baby in which they can explore freely and independently, and then just put a gate at the entrance of the bedroom. There are lots of Montessori-related ideas when it comes to the nursery itself, but today we're going to just be talking about the sleep space for your baby. If you're more interested in other concepts of Montessori and applying them to your home, go ahead and check out my nursery tour or other people's information and just Google it. So we've established now why a crib doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you actually break it down and start considering your child's needs. But let's start talking about the advantages of having a floor mattress. First of all, a crib costs a lot of money. Typically, these are ranging from $200, $300 to $600, maybe a couple $1,000 depending on how fancy you are. And on top of the expense of the crib itself, you also need a crib mattress, which these are commonly really toxic. You need sheets, actually probably a few sets of crib sheets. Some people still use bumpers. You're going to have to store this somewhere eventually, and on top of that, you now need to buy maybe a transitioning toddler bed and then another big boy bed. We had to just buy one bed and some organic sheets. That was it. We didn't need to buy or build a bed frame. We didn't need any of these fancy schmancy things. We just simply placed it on the floor and that was it. So those are the more fiscal benefits of going with a floor mattress, but the main reason that I chose to do this was for Donovan's sake. Donovan's on his own schedule, and this is something that I truly advocate for and I really love. Of course, I wake up super duper early and I'm normally at the gym and showered before Donovan wakes up at 7 in the morning. However, some days I'm tired and I'm like, you know what, let's prioritize my health and my well-being and rest. And on those days when I sleep until 7:30 or something, 8, Donovan's just usually hanging out in his bedroom, enjoying his space, and waiting for me to come feed him and hang out with him. I believe that having this floor mattress and this guest space bedroom, this Montessori style bedroom, allows for Donovan to develop such a sense of autonomy, of independence, and it allows him to get more time in playing and exploring his space and exploring the things that he has to play with. Along with that, I discovered a lot of benefits for myself and for the two of us in our relationship. Early on, it was amazing to just lie down and nurse Donovan while he drifted off to sleep if I missed that window where he was just, overtired and ready to rest. So I would just lay down, and instead of having to take him off and then place him into a crib hoping that he wouldn't wake up, I could just, take my boob away and he would stay asleep and he'd be in his bed. And on the most amazing days, where the sun's just pouring in through the curtains and we're laying there together, I would just nap with him. And that was such an amazing aspect of having a floor mattress. I wouldn't have had that time if I had a crib. In general, it allows us to have naps together all the time if I'm actually willing to take a nap. It's sort of sad, but if you guys watch my videos all the time, you know that Donovan was sick for about a week. Having a floor mattress was great because while he was sick in the night, sadly, as he was coughing and things like that, I could just come and check on him for long periods of time without having to uncomfortably sit in a chair and lose actual rest. I would just lay next to him, get my sleep, and if he really needed comforting, I was there, but I could literally just sleep in his room. In general, it allows for just so much extra cuddle time. I'll read Donovan his stories while lying down to him on his floor mattress. It also allows for really great communication opportunities. Many people have asked me, how do you get your son to stay in the bed? Doesn't he want to play and get out of his bedroom all night or in the middle of the night or early in the morning or instead of napping? It also allows for really great communication opportunities between the two of us. Many people ask, and actually this is probably the most common question that I receive, how do you keep your baby in his bed? How does he stay there to nap? Doesn't he get up and play? Doesn't he wander around? Doesn't he want to continue to explore his room in the middle of the night? And my answer is, yeah, sometimes he doesn't really feel like sleeping. I'll know that he's tired and we'll lay down, his eyes will be shutting, then all of a sudden he'll jolt awake and go to his bookshelf or go to play with something on his toy shelf. And to that I say, what's the big deal? I believe that the basic human needs that we have, such as being tired or being hungry, should be things that we naturally listen to and succumb to. Of course, kids like to fight sleep. They don't want to rest sometimes, but so do adults. There are lots of times as an adult person that I'm like, oh my god, I need to go to sleep, but I choose to stay up a little bit longer or work a little bit longer and a little bit harder. Or there are times where I am so tired and I'm laying in my bed and I just can't sleep. So I get up, walk around, have a glass of water. And I like to interpret my son's getting up as an opportunity to communicate and understand him, as opposed to an opportunity to feel frustrated and like my time is being taken up by waiting for him to be ready for bed. So in those times that Donovan is, crawling about and everything, I kind of just laugh about it and I work with him and I explain to him, hey, I think you're tired. If you need my help, I'll rock you. And I hold my hands out like this. And he usually takes them, I hold him, and we rock and sing, or I read another story. But all of those options I present to him as things that he can either accept or deny. And typically he really has a good time communicating with me, and we have an easy time working it out. More commonly, Donovan actually communicates to me when he needs to rest by actually going to his bed. And this has been the most fascinating aspect of having the floor mattress. I've noticed that in the times where I observe that he's a little bit tired while we're playing or something, or he's getting, let's say, fussy while he's having independent play and he's calling for me a lot more than usual, I'll just go sit or lay on his floor mattress with a book, because that's what we do before nap times and bedtimes. And if he's ready to sleep, every single time without fail, he just crawls on over, holds on to me in some part of my body. He lies like a pancake on there just looking at me and drifts off to sleep, and it is the most precious thing in the world. That's just a clear example of the wonder that comes with trusting your children and trusting their instinctive needs to do certain things. And of course, in later years, I know this might cause some sort of issue when he really doesn't want to sleep, but I want to sleep. And that happens sometimes now, but that's why another thing is, I just sometimes start falling asleep. I tell him, hey Donovan, I know you're not tired yet and you're not ready to go to sleep, but Mama's really tired and I'm going to go ahead and rest my head here on your pillow. And I'll just start drifting off right there, but because it's a safe space and it's closed off, I don't really have anything to worry about. And eventually Donovan does come and cuddle up right next to me because he knows himself, he knows when he's tired, he knows when he's ready to sleep. When he's older and, he's able to really verbally communicate with me, this will probably be an even easier concept. I'll just express to him when I'm ready for bed and that it's okay if he wants to stay up. I trust his need to stay awake or go to sleep. But if he's, let's say, overtired in the morning from not resting enough, I'll explain, I have a feeling that you're not feeling so good because you didn't get enough rest. But that's okay, it happens to all of us, and now we know that maybe we need a little bit more rest at nighttime. And that'll be the way that I handle that. And as far as him wanting to stay awake and, let's say, making noise, I'll clearly draw the boundary. I know you want to stay awake and that's fine, but I'm going to be sleeping in my bedroom and rest is really important to me. It's a lot easier, I think, than people make it to just simply communicate with your children like rational, understanding, empathetic human beings. All of that aside, I have to touch really quickly on our transition to the floor bed itself really quick. So from about 0 to 3 months, Donovan was often in a Moses basket or in his bedside bassinet in the dock-a-tot. And I've mentioned before that I don't necessarily think that's, a must-have item, but we had one, so that's what Donovan spent most of his time in. From the very first days at home, Donovan did nap in his floor bed, however, he just didn't sleep there at nighttime. And I found that that would be a really nice way to transition him to being comfortable sleeping in his bedroom, understanding that that is his environment, that's his little home. And when it was time for me to put him there at night, I didn't have any problems at all, except for my own. I was a little bit more I guess, anxious, and I also really missed him being right next to me. In general, we've had absolutely nothing but good things to say about having the floor mattress. We do utilize baby monitors, but I would say that the key to designing your nursery in this way is to make sure that your nursery is super duper safe, that you've child-proofed everything, that things are attached to the walls. Like, if you do have to have a big dresser, like, I wouldn't recommend having a dresser at all in your nursery, but in our case we need it there and we had it already, so we have it attached to the wall. And in general, certain sharp corners and things, we've tried to make sure that they're a little bit more safe than usual, but I really trust my son's ability to explore and feel out his environment, especially considering the fact that we've made it intentionally safe for him. So if you are planning on doing this, just make sure that you really take a thorough look at your home, get on your hands and knees, observe your room that you're designing, you know, from your baby's perspective, and make sure it is absolutely safe for them to explore and enjoy freely. It's going to allow you some peace of mind, and it's going to allow your baby some really beautiful, free, peaceful development as well. So that's about all I have to say about choosing a floor mattress over a crib. I may have left something out, but if you have any questions or anything to say or share at all, maybe your own experience, please leave me a comment below. If you like this video or if you learned something, give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. The encouragement, the support, and the love that I'm receiving from you guys, from the bottom of my heart, it means so much, and it really keeps me going. It inspires me to create more content for all of you, so thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will see you on the next one.